Happy holidays, everyone, from my family home to yours. So I figured it might be a nice little holiday treat to do some baking. Ready to join me? So with the holidays, there's so many sweets and desserts and treats of all sorts that we all want to find a way to put our own personal stamp on it, right? I was thinking one of my favorite holiday cookies that you get in every basket from a neighbor, or a tray that you get from a store or a bakery, are those little shortbread cookies with a tiny dollop of jam in the middle. Why I love these cookies is it's so easy to personalize. First of all, you put your own literal thumbprint in it, which is kind of fun. And aside from that, there's so much to experiment with. You can do a cream cheese icing glaze, or a regular sugar glaze, or even a lemon glaze, or something like that. You can even play with the jams. Like today, I have a new jam that I've never tried before. There's the traditional cherry and raspberry and boysenberry. You could give it a go if you want to be real adventurous. But today, I'm trying orange marmalade as well. We'll see. It's a good experiment. Let's go. The first thing we want to do is we want to combine our 1 cup of sugar, regular old granulated white sugar, and 1 cup of butter. I love these little sticks for holiday baking because inevitably you need a little extra butter to grease a pan, or just to, you want to make a half a batch of cookies because you're the only one who eats them. Or, surprise someone you know with their favorite cookies, but you don't need to make 3 dozen of them. Having a small amount of butter is the go-to. Gotta admit, it's a great arm workout. So I'm gonna go old school manual with this. Okay, so now that we have our butter and sugar combined, we are gonna add the flour. These cookies are drop dead simple, and they're pretty much ingredients that everyone has in their pantry around the holidays. So now we're gonna add 2.5 cups of flour. My little secret is that I love to use gluten-free flour because it works better for my system, and nobody can usually tell. My actual favorite that I use all the time is Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1 because you don't have to add anything extra to it. It literally works just like regular flour. It's my little secret. Really comes in handy for Thumbprint cookies. Oh, come on, I couldn't do a holiday baking video without a pun. You know that. Okay, so I massively underestimated the size of bowl that I would need. I've definitely made a mess, which can be fun. It's like snow on the inside, right? Just word to the wise, overestimate the size of a bowl you might need. And I also, as I always do, forgot to preheat the oven. So I'm gonna go do that now. I'm gonna preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So now that we have our dough all mixed together, it should feel pretty dry because it is kind of a shortbread cookie dough. However, if it feels too dry and as though it's gonna crumble if you try and make a ball out of it, just add a tiny bit of water. Just a little dribble, drabble, drop. I don't know, they're not measurements, but you can eyeball it, just feel it out. You got this. Now here comes the fun part. We have our 1/4 cup of powdered sugar and my jam. The jams. You can do as many different kinds as you want. Normally I use raspberry or like a 4-berry or boysenberry, but I figured I'd try a little orange marmalade today just to see. Some folks in my family love orange marmalade, so why not try an experiment? I come from a family of scientists. So you take your pre-greased cookie sheet. Normally I use parchment paper, but today I've used some cooking spray. You can also use butter, which is ideal. And you roll it into a nice ball. This is why this recipe is also great. It's drop dead simple, it's super quick, and it's fun for the whole family. Then you roll it in your powdered sugar. Just give it a nice little snowy dusting. Then place it on your cookie sheet. Now this is the really fun part. Take your thumb, you just go boop. The cracks are okay, everything's all right. You just kind of make sure there's a little divot, a nice little basin for your jam. And now you get to do the rest. I usually set up a little assembly line to make it easier. This can be fun for the whole family. You can do it with your kids, you can do it with any loved ones, and it's fun when you can get your hands involved a little bit. Now we pop it in the oven. That first batch is in the oven. We're gonna wait 10 to 12 minutes and give them a little check, probably around 8. Little baker's tip, especially at the holidays when everyone has a busy schedule. You can take a little dinner plate and just, you know, make the rest of your dough, roll them in sugar, drop that jam in, and then just plop them on the tray as it comes out. So now there's a couple options of how you can top these cookies and kind of finish them off. One option is dusting them with a little powdered sugar, which I'll show you in a moment. But while these cookies are in the oven, something else you can do is you can make a nice little sugar glaze. Super simple. You need a teaspoon and a half of milk and a 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. I've got a teeny tiny little whisk. Just mix it up. You want to keep an eye on the consistency of the glaze because sometimes you'll need a little extra powdered sugar. Now we're getting somewhere. So you see this consistency? How you get those nice ribbons? Ooh. I might just eat this. Take this little doodad. Nice little strainer. Just lightly tap the edge of the strainer and let the powdered sugar sprinkle over like fresh fallen snow. Now take a fork and drizzle. And this is the result. Thank you so much for giving me a hand today, and I hope you give these cookies a thumbs up if you try them at home. Happy holidays. P.S. This is why I do experiments, because sometimes they pay off. Orange marmalade on these cookies? Total game changer. Aren't you glad you watched all the way through this video? Get even more puns.
Have a holly jolly Christmas.